Okay, welcome back to the side door. Once again, it's your boy Moby1, and we are here to talk about everything education, culture, growth, mindset, and all of the above. Today, I have some incredible guests with me from the Unloc ranks. Please welcome to the podcast for the first time, Austin and Henry. Thank you so much for coming in today, boys. How are we?
Very good. All right, thank you.
Good.
It's been a very long day, but looking forward to recording a little.
That's good. Why has it been a long day? Why has it been a long day?
Well, I didn't get a very good night's sleep, unfortunately.
Oh dear.
So, it's just sometimes you lie in bed and you just think I'm not going to get a good sleep, and that's what happened to me today. And then I went into college and then had quite a long lesson, and then came here, but yeah, it's just sometimes that's just how it goes.
Okay, of course. And how about you? How are you, Austin?
Been a pretty relaxed day. I woke up, had breakfast, and then come here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What did you have for breakfast? What was the choice?
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa
Yeah,
Pops.
I did.
Yeah, wow. Who's still eating cereal in 2025? I'm joking, of course. Loads of people are. That's good to hear. That's very, very positive. So, you guys run your own podcast.
Yes.
How's that been going?
We're not too consistent with our recording schedule.
Okay.
We initially recorded, how many episodes did we record on that first
7.
day? We
Mhm.
recorded 7 episodes. How many of
Mhm.
them were usable?
3.
So we recorded 3.
Is there a reason why?
Just weren't interesting.
Fair
I watched them back and I was like, no one else is going to
No
watch
one
this,
is-
so we're not going to post.
Oh, but you don't know that though.
Well,
Well, we did.
Take it
It was
we
not
can't
meant
sit through it. No one else can.
I mean, that's what made to look at.
So we recorded 7. 3 of them were usable. We went away and edited them. We released 1 a week until we ran out, and that was about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then we had this second filming day in the diary for quite a while with the other member of our podcast, Alfie, and it gets to 3 hours before it's meant to
3
start.
hours before.
3 hours before it's meant to start, and he goes, "Let's not do this today, shall we?" We say, "Yes, we're doing it. Come in. You've said you're going to do it." He says, "I can't be bothered." So we say, "We'll see you there." We arrive, and he doesn't show up.
Oh no.
So what we do is we take the very measured response of kicking him off the podcast and doing it ourselves,
Extremely measured.
and it just doesn't. And then our podcast, we end up sitting there rapping Hamilton the whole time because we've got nothing else to do. We've got nothing to talk about. So
It's a failing podcast.
So we're kind of on the ropes, you know.
It's only failing if you believe it's failing.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
So
we do.
what is the idea behind your podcast? Why did you guys start it in the first place? What made you want to get into podcasting? And what are the main topics that you guys normally talk about when you have a show?
Well, the original plan was we'd talk about our time at school,
Mm-hmm.
people to relate to.
Yeah.
And then we sat down. After the first episode was filmed, we realised we said everything.
Right. Yeah.
We thought we're gonna have to make this more interesting now.
Mhm.
So we decided to just turn it into kind of while still remaining educationally themed, we're still talking about our experiences over the past few years of school. We started doing more like a conversation and just letting the stories flow and finding funny moments that we could post, and all the kind of clips that we posted did quite well. So that was good. And then I think on that one filming day that we had, we did eventually get tired, and
Yeah,
then we
of
had to
course.
stop because it was like
It was
we,
long,
we've been recording for about 6 hours, and
Oh,
we're like
wow.
we had
we're
the
done
Lord
with
Mayor
this.
come on.
Yeah, and then we had the Lord Mayor, Gerald Vernon Jackson came on. Yeah, and then later in that day we had the Lord Mayor Gerald Vernon Jackson come on, and we interviewed him and we learned a lot about him. So that was good.
Nice.
It's really good to be able to interview people like that, because just a few years ago the culture was very much that young people doing a podcast, like we won't bother being interviewed by them. We don't
Yeah.
come on. So it was really good to know that that the leaders and the people, at least in Portsmouth, still care about talking to young people.
That's nice. That's really, really nice. So yeah, tell me why you guys decided to start a podcast in the first place, and what your main objective is with it.
Uh,
Well, I think it initially started as an idea because we thought us three as a friend group had quite good chemistry
Mm-hmm.
together. So we've known each other for a very long time. We all know how to make things funny without like trying too hard when we're all together as a group. So we well, me and Austin originally sat down and we were like, right, how can we use this to create a bit of entertainment and maybe teach our viewers something new or tell them something about like growing up as young people today. So
Mhm.
we thought, why not do a podcast? It's quite a big thing now. I read a statistic recently about podcasts are becoming a massive thing. So we thought, why not make one just for initially aimed at young people in Portsmouth, and then later on we can kind of make it into more of a thing for a bigger group of people. So that's initially why we started it, because we wanted to, well, we wanted to have a bit of fun with it.
Okay, super dope.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Ost?
No.
I love that. Great, great. That was a great breaking speech as well. Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We're going to go from there. You ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first question is, when you think of hustle culture, which is obviously quite common nowadays, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you both?
First thing that comes to mind.
Austin, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I can give you two options if that helps.
Yeah.
That sounds
Okay, cool. Out of these two options, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Motivation or pressure? The silence speaks louder than anything.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know very much about hustle culture,
Don't know about hustle culture.
because I'm not involved in it, and I don't know anyone who is massively involved in hustle culture, so I don't really know
Okay.
how to answer that question, unfortunately.
That's more than fair. That's more than fair. Austin?
What is hustle culture?
Well, do you know what? My definition of hustle culture isn't necessarily like being involved in something. It's just working hard at what you want to do consistently and pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself that you can, really. So it's constantly trying to figure out what is the thing that's going to get you to the next level,
Okay.
what taking accountability for your actions
Okay.
and putting the right steps forward to be able to do those things. So
Okay.
that's what I would say.
That
it
that
is.
helps.
Well, I'd say
that
motivation.
wasn't what I thought. Okay,
No,
let's try and.
I'd say motivation, because it's quite rewarding to see the results of your hard work,
Mhm.
and obviously being motivated by seeing the results makes you do more because you're confident in yourself. So yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with what Austin said. I do think that for me, hustle culture is more about motivation than pressure, because, well, it's also, actually thinking about it, is it's a lot about motivation, and I think there is a little bit of pressure in there as well. So I know when I am thinking about taking on a new commitment for something to do with my future, a lot of it is like, right, I'm going to learn some new skills. This is going to really get on my CV, or to get into university. They're going to like that. But then when I think of things like, well, doing it for a CV and for getting into university, I really can see why there is a little bit of pressure there, because it's like, well, if other people are taking up these opportunities and I'm not, they're going to get a head start. They're going to be more likely to get into universities and get into the jobs they want to. So, I think if you take on too many of these commitments, then the pressure will build up even more, because you've got so much on. You feel like you have to keep going with all of it, because you don't want to fall behind, and it's absolutely, it can get to a situation where there's pressure. Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of people are similar with that when it comes to stuff like AI,
With stuff
trying to
like
keep up
AI.
with it?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't use AI for very much, but I know that I could definitely see a situation in which people would use AI to try and reduce the workload on themselves, to try and keep all these puzzles going. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Next question I have for you. Can you remember the first time that you realized that working hard wasn't enough?
Probably GCSEs, because
Here we go. Let's hear it. Go on.
because no matter how hard you work, you can always do better, because
Yeah, that's true.
you just got to push yourself. And obviously I learned that cramming, isn't probably the greatest revision tactic, but I think Yeah.
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 Well, working hard isn't enough. So, I mean, aside from GCSEs, I mean, the only obvious one so far has been our. I think me and Austin can both agree our experiences of A levels so far. Starting college in September this year, and this it's so much more difficult.
There's too
It
much.
is, isn't it?
Than we ever imagined.
It's
Too much.
it's ridiculous.
so
In comparison
much.
to GCSEs, it's a whole different world, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never I expected it to be more difficult, but suddenly it's like so even though you're only doing 3 subjects now, like the amount you cover in a lesson, you're covering maybe 5 times as much as you would cover in a GCSE lesson because there's so much to get through.
It's almost like
And then you leave the lesson and you can't go home or anything like that. You have to sit there and like I find myself as soon as I leave a lesson in the morning, for example, I'm going into our open access area with the computers and I'm sitting there for maybe 4 hours without a break just working because I just want to get it all out of the way. And like there's always another task to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a race to get it all done by the end of the week.
Oh, come to
It's
life,
like-
my
it-
friend.
yeah.
That's what you have to look forward to for the rest of your life.
But I've heard from people who are at university that that A levels are more difficult than
Way
degree.
more difficult
They're,
than
they're
uni.
more difficult
Way
at
more.
university because A levels you're doing 3 of them and they're all to like a high standard and
Mm.
This
Some-
jump is incredible. I
It's
think from
crazy.
GCSEs to A levels.
It's quite
I was like,
ludicrous.
I was
It's quite
watching
ludicrous.
videos and it's like, oh, the jump, takes a few weeks to get used to. I still haven't got used to it. 'Cause
I'm nowhere
you
near.
go in a lesson and you learn like the whole curriculum, and it's like, well, how have I done that?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then I've forgotten it all, so I have to go home and spend another 5 hours doing it again.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, me and Austin find out with maths, for example. Like in maths at GCSE, we cover maybe one, but maybe max 2 things in a lesson.
Yeah,
In
that's true.
GCSE maths, we're doing 4 to 5 topic points per lesson, and they're like these are not easy topic points. These are like this is like the basic stuff that we have to know.
All the way around.
Yeah, even
It's a GCSE.
it's fine. He meant to say A levels.
I
It's
meant to say
he meant to say A levels.
So what I was meant to say, whereas at A level, it's like instead of doing 1 or 2 things per lesson like we're doing at GCSE, we're doing 4 or 5 topic points.
And it's ridiculous.
And these,
It's trying to
topic points are
comprehend.
more difficult.
Yeah.
And they're the basics that form the rest of maths.
And it's so fast paced. It's like you learn something brand new, and it's processing in your mind, and you've already missed the next topic.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I
Yeah.
haven't gone.
Like there's so many times where I find that the teacher's going through the next topic point, and I'm still sat there trying to do the questions for the previous one to get it locked into my mind, and then I go home and try and do it, and I can't do it because I haven't got it in my mind out, and then I just have to forget all that and just go, I'll do it another day. And then it's just,
Yep.
oh, it's such a different world to
Yeah,
GCSE.
it is a different world, but that's the way the world is. Life, I wouldn't say it gets easier, but it gets more manageable as long as you
Yeah.
are consistent with the skills that you've learned through school. So, okay, next one I've got for you. What would you say success looks like to the both of you? And has that definition changed over time, do you think?
That is a good question.
Mm.
Are we talking about success in the short term or success like when I'm at the end of my life? What do I want to achieve?
Well, it depends.
success?
It depends because there is short-term success and there's long-term success. But in the overarching, understanding of the word success itself, what does it mean to you? And do you think the word success in general for everyone has changed over time? So I do, but I want your opinion first.
I think when you're younger, success is more about showing off to your friends, like, look what I've achieved.
Mm.
But when you get older and you start to do more, it's more about yourself and how happy you are with what you've done. And it stops being like, oh, it's more personal and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's almost like, in a way, as you say, when you're younger, it's more about short-term achievements. You
Yes.
want to like you want to get a good result, or you want to get good at playing football or something, so you can go and talk to your friends about it. But I think as you get older and as you mature more, I think success does become more long-term. It's like maybe. I mean, I think for me, it's going to be about like career goals, like moving up within an organization, earning more money and doing something that I love, and reaching a stage where like I am kind of in charge of my own future.
Mhm.
Because when you're young, it's like like you're always told that like you have access to all of this stuff. You can choose your A levels, all this kind of stuff, and you can. But once you've reached, like, I know that now that I've picked my A levels and we're 2 months in, you can't change them now.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
you're only 2 months in, so they say you've got all this choice, but once you've made those choices, like at least for the next 2 years, like we're completely locked in to what
Mm.
we're doing, and that is going to determine some of the courses we can do at university. So we've already closed off some areas of career, and
And I
it's
think
difficult, isn't it?
with
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
with GCSEs, like what we had like 3 months of proper preparation, and now that's stretched over 2 years in A levels is a different type of success, I think, because
Absolutely.
with GCSEs it's short term, isn't it? By the end of the month, I want
Yeah.
to have done all my exams and done the best I could.
Yeah.
But it's so stretched out, and it's just
Yeah. I mean, I'd say one way of putting that is like A levels is more stressful than the run up to the GCSE period in terms of the amount of work we're doing, but it's constant.
yes.
And it's not like there's any exams coming up in 1 month that we can like work really hard towards. We've got to do this for 2 years.
Yeah, basically.
And like if like because I do feel like with A levels, like if you miss a lesson at A level, the amount of stuff you're gonna
yeah,
miss.
it's
You
crazy.
have to spend the next you have to spend like double the amount of time you would spend a lesson on your own teaching it to yourself.
Yeah, it's
And
nuts.
the teacher's not going to teach it to you because they got to move on to the next stuff. So
No.
yeah, I mean, I think in at least for me, success in the short term will be determined by well my A level results and also what kinds of stuff I can do outside of A levels to kind of enhance my CV and learn the new skills that I'm going to need for life. So short term success, that's what it is for me.
Okay, cool.
What about you, Austin?
I just think like it's quite demotivating, isn't it? A levels where the exams are in 2 years and you have to spend 2 years locked in working hard. And there's like with GCSEs, you have the first set of mocks. I'm gonna revise hard for the mocks. But with A levels, you don't have that. It's just for the
Mm.
real deal. You've got to put in all the work.
Yeah, but in the real world, everything is for
Yeah.
the real deal. So,
Absolutely.
do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think they're just trying to prepare you for what's to come in the future, realistically. Because it's the same when you get to uni as well. Everything you're going to do is for the real deal. So, just out of interest, is there a reason why you guys went A levels instead of BTEC or apprenticeship, for example?
Yeah, so my reasoning behind that, because I did definitely look at those kinds of routes. I was looking at apprenticeships, or one that I was looking at mostly was a level 3 diploma in performing arts, because I'm really into drama.
Mhm.
So that was something that I thought, like, if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to become an actor, this is the way to get into it. But then I was thinking, if I do that now, then I close off the ability to go to university to study the majority of university courses. So I can't go to university to study economics, for example, which is something that I'm also into. I couldn't go to university to study politics because it wouldn't be because universities require A levels.
Yeah.
So for me,
Not all of them, but
well,
yeah, a lot of the time.
most courses at most universities require them. So so for me, it was about keeping my options open because I don't know what I want to be and I don't know what I want to do yet. And I think that's probably the same for most young people. It's definitely the same for Austin.
Yeah, I know my end goal, like career wise, has changed about 15 times in the past year. I've changed my A level courses over the summer 5 times. And I feel like if I picked an apprenticeship or a T level instead of A levels, especially with me, it wouldn't leave as many doors open. You know, I've gone from wanting to be a doctor to being an aerospace engineer. And there's like, if I did an apprenticeship in being a doctor, I can't go and change my mind
Yeah, that's
later
true.
on. But yeah.
Fair enough. So you wanted to keep your options open,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And
Makes sense.
I just like to. I think it's a shame that that's the way the system has to be set up. I mean, I don't think there's many other ways of doing it, but
No.
like I do really understand the value of doing an
Mm.
apprenticeship or doing a BTEC or a T level, because I can see how good that would be to get the actual workplace experience alongside the qualification without having to pay for any fees and stuff like that. So I think it's really good, and like I totally respect everyone who does that kind of thing, because that's a really good way into a career. So it was a really difficult choice.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was about keeping doors open.
Okay, fair enough. I like that you guys have done that for yourself. That makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense for a lot of young people out there as well, to be fair. So, okay, cool. Next up, we're going to talk about burnout.
Okay.
All right. You guys look like you're very familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, loads of people talk about burnout like it's inevitable. It's always going to happen to you at some point in your life. Do you think that is true, or do you think that you can manage it in a way where it just doesn't happen to you in general?
I think that burnout is not inevitable,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to really do your absolute best, I think it is inevitable. So
Okay.
if you're somebody who is so committed to getting the best that they can for them for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
for getting the best grades, for working as hard as you can in your job to get a promotion, I think it is inevitable that you're going to burn out, because that's a sign that you are giving it absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you're somebody who maybe doesn't worry so much about putting as much into everything, I think you can avoid burnout. I think burnout only happens when you're putting in like very close to as much as you can for an extended period of time. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they're definitely manageable as well. I think with A levels, I feel a bit burnt out when I was approaching the half term we just had, because it's constant work. The weekend, you can't spend time relaxing because you have work to catch up on. But if you manage it, like I'm terrible at time management personally. Which is probably part of the reason I felt burnt out. But if you, I'm going to start making a plan, I think, of what I'm going to do, and then hopefully it'll take the stress off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, planning is super
planning
helpful.
was key.
So, when do you think is the first time that you ever had burnout, and how did it feel?
Austin, you want to start?
Don't know. I think like it changes all the time. Like at GCSEs, I probably would have considered myself burnt out by the end of it. But then you go to A levels, it's sort of a different type of burnout because it's more intense. But
Because you realise what
yeah, what actual
actual
hard
proper
work
burnout feel like. Yeah, because it's like GCSE was like,
stress
oh,
level
I
is
did
constantly
I did
changing.
2.5 hours of revisions a day for maths. I'm burnt out, man. But then we get there today, and it's like you have to do 4 hours, and then you have to do another hour of another subject, and you can't be burnt out at the end because you've got to do more. So,
Write an essay for tomorrow's lesson. No, I don't want to.
you have to. So I think the definition of burnout changes depending on
Yes.
what you're doing.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first time I felt properly burned out was in the run up to GCSEs. I think it was in the kind of March April period, because I've always been a swimmer, so I was doing swimming I think 4 or 5 times a week. I was also doing rehearsals, some of the final rehearsals for a musical at the King's Theatre, as well as doing GCSE revision, and also doing my weekly drama club as well. And I also wanted to do other stuff on the side of that. Like I wanted to, see friends and family. I wanted to spend time. And it just got to a point where like my timetable was like completely full every week. So it was like I'd finish being in school, and I'd have to go home, and I'd go something, and I'd have to do revision. And I think it got to a point where around about 6, but maybe 4 or 5 weeks before GCSEs, I was burned out, but I had to keep going. So even though I was burned out, it was the final run to GCSEs at that point. So yeah, if you are burned out, you got to keep working.
It's just managing your time, isn't it? Really, sort of setting priorities and everything.
And how are you getting on with that at the moment?
Not good. Well, there's 3 A levels, and you're balancing them, and it's like I put loads of work into this one. Now my grades are dropping in this one, so I got to pick those back up. And it's just a mess, really.
Yeah, I think I get the same thing with that. Like the way that our independent study work is set is that I get 2 subjects on Monday and then 1 subject on Wednesday, and the one I get on Wednesday is maths. So I spend Monday and Tuesday doing one, Wednesday and Thursday doing the other one, and then by the time it gets to Friday and the one that's only been set on Wednesday is due on the Sunday, it's like I now only have like a certain amount of time. I'm very limited with the amount of time I can spend on it. And if I overrun with one of the previous subjects earlier in the week, then that has a knock-on effect. And like it's constantly like I have to get this done, and then I have to get that done. And I'm always so worried that one week my teacher's going to set more work than normal, and I'm going to have to spend Saturday and Sunday working. I don't want to do that because I want to have weekends, And a lot of the time I find I'm doing like at least 2 hours, 3 hours of work over the weekend, which is not optimal. No.
That's life, bro. That is honestly okay. Cool. It does get like that. It does get like that. What would you say the signs were of burnout that you guys have had, and what were the ones that you ignored? Deep breaths.
Yeah.
I think I noticed that I was experiencing burnout when whenever I tried to like whenever I tried to think of something that I'd been told like maybe a couple of days ago or something like that, or like remembering names, it just got really hard
Mm.
for that period. And like I was getting quite frequent headaches as well because
Alright.
I think it's like when you get to a point where you're overworking yourself constantly,
Mhm.
your brain does just need a rest. And I found that after I'd experienced that pre GCSE period, after GCSEs were finished, it was a case of for like 3 weeks I just literally didn't do anything,
Mhm.
and like I was still getting this kind of this kind of like these headaches and this kind of like overwhelmed feeling all the time
Mhm.
for those 2 weeks while I was trying to kind of decompress from that.
Mhm.
And it did take a while, but eventually my everything did start coming back to normal again. But there was definitely a very concerning period where I was having issues remembering things, and it was
Mhm.
like it was quite worrying. But I managed to get through it, and I'm back to normal now.
Well, well done for getting through it. And what about you, Austin?
I think the main factors are just lack of concentration and memory. As Henry said, you're sitting in class, you're like, that's just it's not going in, is it?
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about too many things at once, and it's just too much. So yeah, Henry said it all pretty much.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. The next one I'm going to go for is: do you think that we glamorize overworking at all?
I think you feel a sense of satisfaction after putting hard work in. Well, it depends what you're doing, to be honest. But yeah,
But whether we glamorize overworking,
Or do you think it's more maybe people are scared to look lazy?
I think when we're talking about glamorizing overworking, I think it really depends on the group of people who we're
Mhm.
talking about. I think there are some people who are the people who are totally committed
Mhm.
to their education and to their future and things like that. And I think within that group of people, you do get people who tend to glamorize overworking within
Mhm.
that, and I think that has a knock-on effect that the people within that group then also feel like they have to overwork because
Mhm.
it's like, well, that person is doing it and they're kind of um
Excelling or doing
yeah
well, or yeah.
yeah they're kind of excelling, so I kind of have to. And I think there's another group of people who aren't that worried about overworking and that kind of thing. Like they're just willing to put in the amount of effort that is required to complete the task, which is completely
Mhm.
honorable and
Mhm.
I completely respect that. So I think in some cases overworking is glamorized, but in other cases it's not. So it really depends on what kind of person you are and who you talk to.
Mhm.
yes, it's case specific. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense as well. Um, if you could talk to your younger self, so let's say we go back 6 or 7 years, um, back to when you first started, what warning would you give them?
Um, I don't think I would.
That's interesting. Why not?
Yeah, that's
I
quite
don't know.
interesting.
I don't know.
You could give them any warning though. It doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
A levels are
probably.
mad. It could be like, just make sure you pace yourself a bit more, or
Yes.
do you know what I mean?
Concentrate more in math. That's probably kind of my.
I was actually going to say that if you didn't
Yes.
say it. I was going to say, Henry, you got to listen more in maths.
Yeah, I think
And
more
also take statistics and further maths because it's going to
Yes.
pay dividends when you get to A level.
the warning probably would be prepare more for GCSEs because cramming was an issue. Because if you start early, then when you get to the end, there won't be as much to do because you would have been consistent and started a while ago. So yeah,
I mean, I do agree with that. I probably could have started revising a little bit earlier and a little bit harder than I did.
Could always have
Um,
them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if there was one warning I'd give to myself, it would probably be when you're cycling down that hill in the New Forest in 2025 with no brakes, go a bit slower. Yeah, because I did crash and it did hurt, so I was I would probably warn
Sorry.
myself
God, how fast were you going?
about 26 miles an hour.
Oh my God. What did you crash into?
Well, I just went down a hill and my brakes weren't working, and then I turned around a corner thinking if I turn this corner, it will flatten out and I'll just be able to brake. And I didn't get around the corner, and I went into this big pile of gravel and like went off sideways and like rolled, hit
Oh.
my head. I wasn't wearing a helmet. Wear a helmet as well.
Wear a
don't
helmet,
forget.
guys, wear a helmet.
Learn to wear a
still
helmet.
need to listen
I still need to listen. to
Had
that.
no lid.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I would warn myself about that. Yeah, be a bit more careful on your bike.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, cool. So based on let's go with okay, cool. So now we're going to talk about social media pressure and everything that's kind of going on. There's so many things that are going on social media. There's a lot of apps now that you can use. There's a lot of different ways to connect with people. What apps do you guys use mostly?
What, social media apps?
Yeah.
I mainly stick to YouTube and Instagram are my main two.
Mhm.
I don't tend to. In fact, I hardly use Snapchat, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Instagram. I don't like TikTok. I don't use Snapchat.
Fair enough. Okay.
I just think that like you find yourself doom scrolling.
Yeah,
It's such a waste of time.
That's true. I mean, it happens for people on Instagram as well. It really
Yeah.
depends on your algorithm, but
yeah.
it's completely understandable. Well done. It looks like you guys are using it healthily, which is nice.
I'll try.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
cool.
try as well.
So, in terms of the idea of success, which you just spoke about, how much do you think social media shapes that for young people?
Massively.
Mm.
I think because you're exposed to other people's achievements,
Mm.
lives, and there's just like I think
And only their success stories,
Yes.
almost. Yeah.
they never share their failures. I don't think.
Mhm.
And then when you're watching that as a young person, you're quite impressionable. You think, oh, I'm not doing enough. Oh, that person's done amazingly.
Mhm.
Yeah, going back to GCSEs, I'm getting bored of the word now, but there was a lot of people saying how I got grade 9s, how I got, all these amazing grades. And it's like, if you're sitting there and, I don't know, school's not for you, it's just quite demotivating.
Yeah.
And I think that issue of constantly seeing other people's successes is exacerbated because social media algorithms recommend you more content of things that you watch. So if you watch one or two videos of someone living the life that you want to live, suddenly you're going to find that that's just every time you open up that social media app, you're seeing videos of people who are doing more than you, who are being more successful than you, and that's just a downward spiral. Like,
Yeah.
I can very easily see how that leads people to becoming really demotivated because it's like, well, how can I possibly ever achieve that? Because all I'm ever seeing is people who are winning.
Mm.
It's constantly comparing yourself to others, which
Mm.
is quite harmful in some cases. I mean, it can be good because it can motivate you to work harder, but I think in most cases it's quite, damaging. So yeah.
No, I agree. I think that really we should only compare ourselves to ourselves.
Yes.
Maybe mildly our friendship group and our family somewhat, but yeah, we shouldn't really compare ourselves to people on social media because again, you have no idea what's going on in their lives,
Exactly.
what help they have, what access to what information they have. Do you know what I mean? So it's impossible really to pit for pit against someone else who you don't know what armor they have on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, cool. So this is gonna be based on your own social media now. Have you ever posted something that performed well but felt completely disconnected with who you are?
The moon. I took a picture of the moon.
Sorry, it's just the way you said it.
I took
Go
a-
on, go on,
I
go on.
took
Yeah.
a nice picture of the moon and
Mhm.
it got about 1,000 likes. I was like, oh, that's great. And
And that was that.
yeah,
But why did you feel disconnected with it?
well, don't really have much interest in the moon. But I've got to keep it up because it's done well. But there's just a random picture of the moon on my Instagram.
It's like one of the only things on your
What a
entire
own things into the moon.
Have you thought about taking more pictures of the moon since?
Well, I've done some. I tried doing one when there was a solar eclipse or something that
Mm.
burned a hole through my lens. So I'm not going to do
Oh
that again.
my god!
We're not doing that again.
How is was it in your camera or your phone?
Yeah, my camera, yeah.
How's the camera doing now?
Well, I turn it on and it goes beep. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
real.
so since you took that picture of the moon, you also took that picture of the red arrows, didn't you?
I did,
On
yeah.
Southsea Common. Yeah. It got in the news, didn't it?
Did go in the news, yeah.
Wow! Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good picture.
How many likes did that one get?
Don't know. I didn't post it on Instagram.
Ah, okay, fair
I
enough.
sent
fair
them over.
Nice.
a
Well,
lot.
good job. Good job. And you?
I've never posted on Instagram something that isn't that I'm not connected to.
Mhm.
I personally find that I treat my Instagram page as like something for me to go back and look at, and then other people can look at it if they want to. I'm not in it to try and get likes or follows or shares or anything like that. I'm just there because, you know, I want to be able to in the future go back and revisit some of the best days of that I've gone by that I've posted on there. So yeah, and if other people like it and they want to see it, that's cool.
I love that. That's
I
amazing.
like my page to be just me and
Mhm.
not. I don't post a fake version of myself.
Mhm.
You know, if there's a picture where I look a bit weird, but I'm looking at, you know, I'm in a cool place that I want to remember, I'll post it anyway. Because like I don't care if other people think I look funny or whatever. Like I like it.
Good. That's a really good mindset to have. That's literally what you should. I think that most people should care less about other people's opinions and what they think, and just focus on their own growth and direction that they want to go in. So that's a nice mindset to have. Well done on you. Okay, cool. So you guys are creators, of course, and you guys have been doing it for a while now. Do you think creators of today are more addicted to validation than creativity itself?
Um, it sort of depends what you do. Like when you're doing videos, me and Henry, we just keep them funny only because we enjoy making them.
Yeah,
Mm.
we don't do
We
it for
don't. We don't
validation.
seek it for validation. Even
And we
if we
wouldn't do very well.
we'll
at
spend a few hours making some funny video and we won't post it. It's just funny to look at.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Or as I said earlier, we'll sit in the podcast studio over there and sing Hamilton into a microphone, just so Austin can edit it up and send it over just to me, and we just laugh at it together.
Testing our creativity.
Yeah, yeah. But I think once again it's another thing. It's another two group situation. You'll have one group of people who post because it's them, like people like me who just post because, you know, they find something funny or like they want to share something that they've done with the world.
Mhm.
But I think there are definitely people who I see who are very clearly doing it just for the validation
Tryhards.
that they get.
Yeah.
People
For the likes.
yeah, doing it for the likes or doing it just because they want, you know, they want to get retention or they want to get views or they just want to be seen. And it's quite, you can quite clearly see the difference between those two groups of content, because some content is very clearly just there to get you to look at it and like it or to
Yeah,
think about it. Or
you
to
can
share it.
definitely tell
And
that.
I don't like that kind of content like
Yeah.
that.
It's sort of becoming personal to you, doesn't
Mm.
it?
Yeah.
Sort of like, you know.
Yeah.
I think some creators are very good at doing a mixture of both.
Yes.
Like they can be in both pockets. They can easily make it about themselves and authentic, but then it can still have the same draw of getting the likes and shareability and being able to get out to a wider audience. And I think
Both useful,
that's
yeah.
probably a good medium to have if you're trying to grow and it's trying to become a thing where you're full time in it and stuff. If you can be authentically yourself, but still be able to share yourself in a way where other people want to understand and come into your world, I think that's probably the best way that you can do it. But yeah, like you said, there is definitely people that I've seen that are literally just only like
Yeah.
farming basically for likes and for shares and stuff like that. So like, oh my gosh, have you seen those ones? To be honest, some of my friends do it, but it really depends on like the content. But there's these ones where like they'll be like, you're not working hard enough or something like that.
Yeah.
You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And hopefully one day you'll become etc etc, and then it will end with and that's why, and then it will cut back to the beginning. You're not working hard enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it will just basically
Yeah.
literally
It's like, why are you posting that? What? How you don't know me?
yeah.
How do you know who's watching this, man?
It's true. It's so true. They don't know you,
They don't know
and they
us.
don't know if you're working hard enough. So
It's the shocking intros. You watch it and go, oh,
Whoa.
that could be something I want to watch, you know? And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just.
And it's also just touching on my point earlier about social media again. It's like social media. You get more likes and more attention on negative posts and negative reels, negative TikToks or whatever, because people are more likely to interact with it, because like humans are literally wired to look at negative things more and pay more attention to them than positive things. So that's why we've gotten to this situation with social media and all this kind of fake news, disinformation everywhere all the time.
There's a lot of
because-
pages that are getting it right now
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So
So of course, posting negative things on social media is a great way to get retention and to get likes. And it's so sad seeing so many people do it, because it's just, you know, it's really bad for the platform and it's really bad for everyone who interacts with it.
of course, it's not really good. It's not really good. Okay, so the next question I'm going to go into, because with that one we could go into for ages. That one's a deeper one, and there's a lot of pages that are under fire at the moment because of the negativity that they've shared over the years, and people are petitioning to sort of get them taken down. And there's loads of people that are kind of saying that some stuff was really good and we need it for the culture, and there should be like a 50-50 divide. There needs to be the negative and the positive, but there's an argue for and against, but I just don't think that it needs to be negative to the level that some stuff is
Yeah,
negative. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? So if you're reporting what's happened, that's a different story from pushing a specific narrative
Exactly.
in one
Yeah.
direction. So
Yeah.
so this is about the hustle myth. Do you think there's a link between constant productivity and insecurity?
Oof, what a question, man.
I know, innit?
That's a deep question.
Yeah, well, bro, they're all deep.
I wouldn't know how to answer that, I don't think. Just because I've never felt very insecure with myself.
Mhm.
I've always been very comfortable, and I don't really think it's my place to answer that.
Okay, that's fair. Austin?
I guess in some situations it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of depends what you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's quite a deep question.
Yeah, I think everything's situational
Yeah.
depending on the person. They can be quite
Yeah.
personal. And again, it depends on what niche maybe you are in, the people that are around you. There's a lot of different limiting factors, I would say, when it comes to that kind of thing as well. So the next thing I'm going to ask you is, what's one lie that you believe hustle culture has basically told everybody that you no longer believe? Like, I mean, I wouldn't call them lies, but I can give you some examples of the hustle culture,
go on,
for
please,
example,
please.
quotes and stuff. So there's a bunch of quotes that will be like, you get out what you put in. That's like a hustle culture quote. Or you reap what you sow. That's another one. Work hard, work hard. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is there anything that you've ever heard that's like maybe motivational speech or about hard work or sort of gym mentality and mindset that you think that's absolute nonsense?
I think there are probably a lot.
Mhm.
Especially because we live in a world where there's so much of this kind of motivational content going around of people just kind of saying stuff, and it does, and it,
There
and
is.
it, and it,
I
and
think
it
it's good
actually
for the
doesn't mean
zone.
anything.
And I think it's
I think viewers, if you want a good example of people just saying stuff without meaning anything, go on LinkedIn for a bit, because most of LinkedIn is just people saying stuff and it doesn't mean anything.
Do you know what? I read a lot of books recently that feel like they've just waffled. You have to kind of just decode.
They're
Yeah.
just pointless
it's
words.
just
Do you know what I mean?
What
And
if
it's
I
like,
just read?
A collection of letters.
yeah, and I'm just like, so what did you actually mean in
Yeah,
this book? Like, what was the point of this? You know, I don't know.
What's your message?
Everybody
You
has
don't
obviously,
have one,
but
like-
people take different interpretations from things. It depends on how you look at it,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
probably still extrapolate data from it. But sometimes it's like hieroglyphics. It's like
Yeah.
what on earth?
What did I just
What was the
spend my
point?
time
No,
reading?
You try
literally.
looking for a meaning and there just isn't one.
I remember. I think there was recently. I did look at one such post. I think it was on LinkedIn of someone who'd written something, and I read it like 4 times just because I was like, I have to try and find some kind of meaning, and there was none.
No, I know what you
They
mean.
said nothing.
I feel like I've seen I've seen a lot of stuff like that.
So it's like a lot of politicians, I think. They say lots, but nothing comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Mm.
So in answer to your question about have we seen things that aren't true to do with hustle culture, absolutely, they're everywhere. There are lots of examples, and I would just say, make sure that before you live by something, make sure it actually means something first. Make sure it means something to you, especially. Make sure it means something. To you.
Okay, beautiful. That's a really good take on it, and I think that's great advice for everybody out there that is looking for purpose or looking for something to follow that's going to help them as well. Because yeah, there is a lot of fluff out there, and it's hard to pull it apart. So okay, cool. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, what do you think working smart looks like today in 2025? Because obviously it's changed massively over the years. What would you say working smart looks like right now?
Probably working smart, taking shortcuts, probably.
What?
Wow, okay,
Go
that,
on,
that is a
okay.
hot take.
What's the shortcut? That is a crazy hot take.
Hot take. I think working
That's gonna rile a lot of
smart
people up.
is working in a way where you get the same outcome, but you don't put as much work in.
Austin, that's the definition of working smart.
It's true. It is the
You've
definition
just
of
defined
working.
it, mate.
Reworded
Yes,
the
yes.
definition to say the same
Let's
thing.
We're talking about waffling.
Yeah, I know
You
waffling.
You said nothing.
Yeah.
Go on. Go on, Austin. Go on, go on. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk his talk. He's
I've
got
said-
something to say. He's
I've said
cooking.
my piece.
You've said your piece. Okay, cool.
Said his piece.
Henry?
Oh, okay. Working smart. So, definitely, it's definitely about good time management.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of the absolute key things that I know I find. I think Austin, although you say you don't have it, you're gonna need it. Good time management, and I think we live in a world where there are so many tools now to manage your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone has a calendar on their phone
Yeah.
that you can. It's that easy just to add something in,
Mhm.
and it is a repeating. So every week you do it. We have like apps. We have you can even use ChatGPT,
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
true.
to timetable. So I found I literally never use ChatGPT for anything except if it's like a really mundane task that
Mhm.
I'm going to get the same outcome. So, but actually, I found myself last week. I was like, right, my college timetable and where I'm doing my independent study work, it's not all adding up. I need to be doing the college study needs to be doing 30 hours a week total, 15 in lesson, 14 at home, and then an hour somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I wasn't doing that. So I went to ChatGPT and I had about an hour-long conversation with it, trying to get it to do it. And it took a really long time because ChatGPT, obviously, it does its hallucinations where it doesn't add things up correctly. And it makes it seem like it's not, it makes it seem like it's worked and it hasn't. But after about an hour, I did manage to get it to a situation where it had actually worked out a timetable that actually did work.
Mhm.
So I think using the tools available to manage time and seeing where you can fit other things in, seeing where, for example, you can go and find someone to give you like an external qualification that you might need, even if that's something quite simple, that outside qualification. Like something that I do is I do a drama qualification for literally an hour a week outside
Nice.
of college. And even if you can just fit something like that into your schedule, you're going to be getting an advantage. You're going to be getting skills that you can use.
Mm.
So even if your life is really busy, use the tools available to manage your time.
Amazing. I really, really like that. That's really good. Austin, you got anything to add? No? Okay, cool.
I think he's done.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Can rest be productive?
Absolutely.
Good. That's a good answer.
Of
That's
course,
very, very
of course,
good.
rest can be productive. It has to be. You have to fit that into your
I
schedule
think-
somewhere. Because if
yeah.
you don't rest, you can't be productive when you're not resting.
It's true.
Relaxing is the most brilliant thing in the world. I love doing something and then just going home and just sitting there, and it's like I don't have to do anything. Right
I would agree. There are very few greater feelings than working really, really hard and knowing that once it's done, or like that feeling of when you've done it, and you know you haven't got anything left to do for the day, and you can just go home and relax. I love that feeling. It hardly ever happens, but I think it's like it's so important
It is.
to rest. And sometimes resting is when you have your most productive ideas. Like
Yeah, I agree.
I find lying in bed at night when I'm just about to go to sleep, suddenly I'll just have an idea that I would never have if I was busy doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I'm like, I could really use that. And I'll go and write it down before I go to sleep. And then I'll go to sleep and think on it. And then when I wake up in the morning and I've had my good rest, I can think about that idea a bit more and it will just grow. So absolutely resting is a really good time to be productive.
So what would you guys say is a good way to rest?
Whatever works for you. If it's playing video games, that's a good way to relax.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping.
Yep. Sleep is really important.
Reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read many books, but
You should read a book.
He's just reeling them
read
off.
books. I don't,
Read a book. I don't read them, but
books.
you should read a
Books are
book. You should read a book. Oh, work smart.
Work smart. Yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, we do whatever works. Austin, you say video games and sleeping. That's two really good ones. Watching videos. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it just continue from that. Sometimes relaxing whilst doing something like reading a book is relaxing as well as productive. You can literally do two things at once. So
That's true.
you can be productive, you're getting all these new ideas from the book, and you're also relaxing.
That's
a
very
hobby.
true.
You
A
can
hobby?
relax
A hobby,
doing
yeah.
hobbies.
Hobbies are
What hobby you do?
Mhm.
What's a hobby I do? I do many hobbies.
Can you give me a hobby?
Photography.
Well,
Photography is quite relaxing.
see that?
Take some pictures. And when you go home and have to edit them, that's not very relaxing.
We don't have to edit them unless you do.
Well, yeah,
You can edit them in your free time.
depends on
It works.
true.
Yeah, maybe photo editing is relaxing for you. There we
Okay,
go.
nice. All right, okay, cool. I've got a last few questions for you. What routines or habits would you say you both have that you think help protect your energy?
Eating dinner.
Eating dinner.
Yes, I like to.
Is that a routine?
Well, yeah.
It's a routine.
Of course, eating dinner's a routine.
I think it's good sitting there, and I would like to watch something on my computer or something when I'm eating dinner. It's quite relaxing, and it's a good way to recharge.
Is that
Yeah.
the same time?
Big aura points.
Pretty much, yeah.
What about you, Henry?
The routine. Sorry, what was the question again? Routine for what?
Routines or habits that you have that help protect your energy?
To help protect my energy.
Mhm.
Well, most nights before I go to bed, I have a cup of tea, which
Mhm.
probably doesn't help me sleep. But
Decaf or calf?
Calf. I can't have
PG tips, Tetley or Thai food?
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Not PG tips.
Hard
that's
water or soft water?
What?
Hard
Well,
water.
in Portsmouth we have hard water. So
Oh, okay.
go with
Fair
that.
enough.
But I think I probably prefer a soft water one. But yeah. So I think it's important you have the same routine every night before you go to bed. I sometimes am not very good at sticking to the timings I would like.
Mm,
So
I think we all struggle
for
with
example,
that.
last night I was like, I'm gonna sit here, have my cup of tea, read the news, whatever, for 45 minutes from 9:30 till 10:15,
Mm.
and it got to 11 o'clock, and I was still there because like I was just like my head was just had so much stuff still going.
Yeah.
And then I went to bed and got a terrible night's sleep. So, yeah, it's important that if you're gonna have a routine and you're gonna stick to it, make sure it's one that works for you.
That
think
makes sense.
Bedtime routines are probably the most important, aren't they?
Mhm.
Because the quality of your sleep affects the rest of your day tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good. That's good. That's very good. Is there anyone that you guys look up to? Not because they work the hardest, but just because of the way they live. They live with clarity, or they're very peaceful, or they've just got their stuff together in a way where they've got a good balance. Other than yourselves, obviously, you know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I think I have a lot of answers to that question, but I can't think of any right now.
Okay.
There are that's a really good question, and if I had a bit longer to think about it, I would be able to give you a very good answer to that. But unfortunately, I think I'm too tired at the moment to.
But
Sorry.
I really appreciate the honesty, to be honest. Austin, have you got anything for us? Or
There's people I look up to in the sense of what they've achieved. Like, I don't know, Jeremy Clarkson, I think. I wouldn't say I look up to him for his clarity. No. I don't know, it's a tricky question.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, what would you want to be known for? What output or what impact would you have wanted to create in the world? Or in the universe, considering the direction that we're probably going in right now?
Yeah. I think within 10 years, well, obviously we'll have finished university by that point. We'll be
Yes, 100%.
in our
yeah.
first jobs in 10 years.
Your first job in 10 years.
First proper actual job, assuming we stick with it. So,
Mhm.
I think what I want to be, or at least what impact I want to have had in 10 years, is the same for my whole life. I really just want to. I want to be known as someone who you can talk to, someone who's funny, who can make you laugh, someone who doesn't take everything too seriously, and just like someone who people like respect and want to have a conversation with.
I love
Because I feel like there are obviously so many things. Like you could say it's like I want to be known for working really hard in my job, or I want to be known for that kind of thing. But I think it really depends on what kind of person you are, where your priorities lie. But I think that when it comes down to it, like you've only got one life to live, so make it one that that people like you. Make it one that people like you,
Mm.
and you. I literally had the end of my
It was going
I'm
so well.
sorry,
It
guys.
was
I'm so
going so
sorry.
well.
I'm so sorry.
No,
We'll
God,
find
you're
out
good.
something in there you can probably edit.
It was so good. You only got one life.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
make
Exactly.
it.
I literally had my point in my head, and I was like, "Wow, that was good," and then I forgot the rest of it.
10 for effort. Honestly, it was good.
Yeah.
We put some beautiful motivational music behind it, and then like a
honestly,
a
you
tape
got one
stop.
life to live. Make it a good one.
Oh my gosh. Austin, have you got any words of motivation?
I'd say your relationships with family and friends are probably more important in the long term. I saw something on Instagram the other day, and it's from someone, and he said, sitting with people in their last moments, they don't want their degrees and achievements, they just want their family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's quite important to work on yourself and not get yourself too hung up on your achievements.
Okay, so obviously to ask you the question that we was obviously trying to answer, what do you want to be known for?
I want to be
next
known
10
for
years?
not dodging questions, which I've just done. Yeah, what Henry said. I mean, we're quite similar, but I think just being a nice person. Obviously, I want to have passed my A levels. I'm not sure if I will. No, I will.
I believe you would.
Yeah, hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just all the good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, are you gonna? Have you got it? Have you got it? Has he got it?
My point came back and then it left me.
Ah, okay.
No,
Cool.
no, hang on. No, I've got it. I've got it. Hang on. So I think that, like Austin said, when you're at the end of your life,
Mhm.
you want to have lived your life for yourself and for the people around you, because no matter what your achievements are, or as you say, your achievements, your qualifications, none of that really matters in the end, does it? Because you have only got one life to live.
You know.
At the end of it, you want to have lived it to a place that you are happy with, that you have done as much as you wanted to do, and that's what you want to be known for. You want to be known as someone who lived a really, really fulfilled life, who did everything they wanted, and the people around them respected them, and that's what you want to be.
That's amazing. That was really beautiful. Thank you. We'll stitch it if we have to. Okay. And what would you say is one thing that you stopped doing that you felt instantly made your life better? That's a very, very deep breath.
Austin, that's not something you decided to stop doing.
No, watching TikTok. When you stop watching TikTok, that's quite good. You've broken away from the trap of doom scrolling, and you can live your life more and focus on things that really matter.
Yeah. I mean, I never use TikTok, but I've got the same example of I didn't stop, but I've cut down on my social media use. That's like I can obviously feel that's instantly made my life better, because I can now use that time for, things that are far more important, like friends, or most of the time college work, but a lot of the time it's I can spend that time doing things that are actually going to benefit me. So yeah, cutting down on social media use and just living life to the full.
Okay. Amazing. Well, I think that brings us pretty much to the end. So
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that everybody wants to be successful.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed today, the real win is really learning how to last, and how to be consistent with the person that you want to be overall, and the mark that you want to leave in the world. So take from that which you will, because everybody's version of success is different. But yeah, I think it's important to stick to your guns, be yourself, be as original as you can, and just try and spread the best message that you can, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to leave this place with. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on the pod today, Henry and Austin. I'm really, really grateful for you. Best of luck with your A-levels as well. And yeah, hopefully we get an update on you guys in a couple of years to see how you got on with your A-levels. But we're very, very grateful. Thank you for coming through. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
No worries.